All right, here we are. You guys ready for level 2? Week 1 of March. Yeah, awesome.
Oh my God, my birthday's on the day.
Oh, yay! Birthday festivities for you. Awesome. Okay, so tonight we have 2 students with the same birthday. That never happens. Never happens. Jillian, when is your birthday? Is it in March?
End of July.
July. Oh, wonderful. I think Helen and I are in April, and I can't remember. August. Yeah. Awesome. Okay. And Jillian's July. Perfect. Okay, you guys.
Ready?
So this is an intermediate FCBD style belly dance class. Welcome. I did. So tonight we're going to work on head slides for our slow vocabulary. Yeah. So some people do a head slide like that, so we'll talk about that. And then we're going to work on some of my favorite, which are pivot bump variations, single bump and double bump. And we're going to work on the single bump half turn. Yeah, all right, that one makes you feel like you're flying. So if you have a desire to fly tonight, I think we can accommodate you. All right, so let's do a drill to start off with, a fast song. And I've got some specific drills tonight, so we'll see how you guys can do with those. I think I'll play around with one of those. All right, here's some Rocky and the Caveman. I'm gonna take my drills with me. That's a good one, isn't it? You're going to love the name, too. Good job, Helen. Awesome. I'm sorry, let me spotlight myself. Jillian, it's nice to see you, but you probably want to see me full screen. Okay, good. Let's take our feet and heel toe them a little further apart, and let's push ourselves over to the side and like point that foot. Oh gosh, how you feel that in there? And contract the glute. Go ahead and push yourself to the other side. Contract the glute. And push. And let's bend a little down into the knees. And think about pushing yourself over with that foot. And bend into the knees and push over with this foot. Push. Contract the glutes. All right, come back to center. Toes pointing out. Inhale. Oh yeah, you want that? So hold your hand up. I promise, Liz, this is the only time I will contract my glutes in class. Okay, good. All right, inhale, arms up. Contracting the glutes. Pushing up with the feet. Inhale, slowly lowering down. So really think about that tailbone, nice and long, pointing down as you're sliding down this imaginary wall surface behind you. Good, and let's heel toe the feet back together. All right, so stepping back with the right foot, reaching up with the right arm, get a nice stretch through this right side. Good, and coming back to center, stepping back with the left foot, reaching up with the left arm. Good, and back to center. And roll your shoulders forward, up and back and down. Forward, up and back and down. All right, and this time when you roll your shoulders forward, up and back and down, I want you to just fall into dance posture. Shoulders pressed down, feeling those shoulder blades sliding down your back. Releasing the tailbone, contraction. Just in the lowest part, not everything. Yeah? Good. Shake it out. Inhale, arms up. Our gratitude. Beautiful. Feels so good. Yeah. Beautiful. All right, so let's talk about head slides. So this is an embellishment. Often, sometimes you've seen Indian dancers do it, so it's definitely influence from India that has crept its way into our lovely dance style, or we might say borrowed from Indian culture. So what we're trying to do is use the neck muscles here, right? So a couple important tips to create this is to have good posture, right? To have your head level. It doesn't feel as good if your chin is high. And to have your shoulders pressed down and level. And visualize this like almost someone's pulling your ears. So if you grab your own ears, it's kind of weird. I hate to tell you to grab your friend's ears. That would be even weirder, right? And just kind of do a little tug and feel how it's pulling your head directly to the side, to the right and the left and the right and the left. But you have to allow this to happen, and you want to feel this sliding almost as if you had a marble right at the top, the last vertebra between the vertebra and the skull. So visualize this sliding of the head as if it's got a marble there. So you really want to think about elongating through the crown of the head, creating mobility, so it's a lifting up feeling, and pressing the shoulders down feeling. Press the tongue to the roof of your mouth to make sure your mouth is closed. And tip your chin a little bit and try that sensation where you're actually tugging your ear from side to side. So we want to avoid tipping the head sideways. Now this upper trapezius wants to be involved, and the upper trapezius is the one that tips your head, right? Yeah, so we want to override that tipping and get the movement to go out to the sides. And if you're really tight, then maybe just keep working on it. Maybe it'll get better. Got to get it to release a little bit. I highly recommend this head side stretch to either side. Yeah, and here's another good one. So if you grab that arm behind you, so grab your left hand or wrist with your right hand and kind of pull it behind you. And let's tip our head to the right. So if you've got some tension there, that might make it a little bit more challenging to do this tonight, yeah? A lot of us sit at desks and we do get tense there, right? So tip the chin down and back up, then release and maybe grab your right wrist with your left hand, pull it a little more behind you, and let your head fall to the left side. There's this really strong muscle that goes up the side of the neck that might be feeling a little tense right now. But the more you hold this and breathe into it, the more it'll ease up for you, okay? So that's always something you could do if you feel like you're just super tense, all right? So we want to avoid tipping the head. We want to relax, okay? So let's get into dance posture, all right? So let's tip our chin down a little bit, but keeping the chin level to the floor as much as we can. Feeling that sliding, that marble back there as we slide to the right or left. It's like you're trying to listen to something extra hard. Either side, go, what did she say? What was that? What? Say what? And just slide it. This is a tiny little movement. It's looking good, everybody. So usually in FCBD style, we start out to the right because we have to kind of understand what's the pathway for our steps so we can follow each other as best. And if you're going left and I'm going right, we're like, whoa. So we'll do the right side, left side, left side, and that might be as much as we get, right? So let's try it. So just let your arms hang, get in dance posture. Okay, so arms down. All right, so let's slide to the right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. Okay, so now let's take the arms up, engage the mid-back muscles, sit the arms back down on those nice strong back muscles, maybe lift the fingers up a little bit so it's like you have little bookends for your head, and slide your head right, left, right, left, right, left. So the fingers up a little bit has a nice framing effect. Yeah? Okay? The shoulders going on. Well, it could be some tension, yeah? Yeah. So now, I'm sorry? Oh, sound effects, nice. So another thing we might do also with, and generally we try to quiet everything in the body and find a place to put this. that goes with our music. So I'll take my arms from overhead, bring them here, and then do it twice to each side. Yeah, and then lift the hands up and do something else. But another really beautiful thing to add is a little bit of a level. So is everybody comfortable with levels tonight? So what we want to make sure we do with levels is we keep our back straight the whole way. And if your bottom starts to poke out a little bit, you've gone too far for right now. So just come on back up, okay? So we're going to be on the balls of both feet. It's okay if you step the right foot forward. And I really like to have the arms here when I do a level. So we're going to come up on the toes, and then we're going to go down for 4, and up for 4, and then put the heels down, and then transition to something else. So when I say 4, I mean right, left, down, and then a right, left, up. It's just kind of what I do for my drills. So, okay, let's try it. Yes, it is the cue for a level to go up. Good question. All right, so our drill right now is just putting it together with some other steps. So we're going to do figure 8, torso twist, which the arms are already nice and wide, then a head slide with a level, then a pulse turn, and if you don't know that, that's okay. I'll just pull the hands up, and we'll just do the hands do a big dive, and then we'll do another head slide and a reverse turn. Yeah? Did you get it? Figure 8? Yeah? Okay. Is everything feeling okay, Jillian? Yeah? Okay. All right. Well, I should have turned the music on, but now I have to walk back here.
Just getting your steps in.
Yeah, truly. Okay. Oh, we haven't used this song in a while. Dance posture. Very dramatic, huh? So that song is called Knife in the Dark by Afrit Temple. And it's got a nice kind of subtle beginning, and then it gets a little bit more intensity to it. So I really liked how the head slides kind of were at the end. And yeah, all right. How's everybody feel on head slides? Yeah? Not perfect, but good. Jillian, how's head slides for you? Yeah, good. Slow it down just a little bit. Take your arms out to the side. Yeah. Oh yeah, that looks really good. It looks so good with arms out to the side. Good job. So Jillian, what I want you to not feel like you have to push yourself to the point to where it pulls your shoulders with it. You can just keep it smaller. Yeah, but you've got a lot of good range of motion there, and that's super good. Awesome. Okay. I'll pin myself back, and let's talk about double bump. Okay, so pivot bump variations, they're really my favorite. It can get a little taxing when you're working on it, all pivot bumps in one class, so if you guys need to take a break, no problem. Take care of yourself. So, did anybody go skiing this winter?
No, but I watched the Winter Olympics.
No? Okay, well, we're gonna ski tonight, so don't worry, don't worry. Let's ski in Alabama. So the reason I say that is because the motion of the right foot is like skiing, okay? So in the single bump, double bump, both of them, which we're going to talk about tonight, if you've just visualized you're sliding your right foot towards your dance angle, your left front corner, and then back towards your back right corner. So, right? So it's like, if you get the arms going, you totally feel like you're skiing, right? Just one side. It's just the right side body skiing, okay? So if you keep your foot, so right now we're keeping our foot flat, but we're gonna do that with the right foot on the ball, yeah? So left foot's flat, right foot on the ball. So this is a split foot position, pivot bump family split. I know I can't stop doing this now. So this is a 4-count step. Double bump, we're gonna have that gesture with the hips towards the front and the back. So 2 counts to the front, 2 counts to the back. So our right foot is going to slide forward for 2 counts and back for 2 counts. And forward and back and forward and back and so on and so forth. Good. So now we're going to release our tailbone. Remember, we're in dance posture. And I'm going to bump my right hip forward. So I'm going to lift it up, and then I'm going to release it, let it come through the center into the back, and I'm going to bump it to the back. So 1, 2 to the front, 1, 2 to the back. Right foot forward for 2, back for 2. Forward for 2, back for 2. So you're really balancing yourself on the left foot. So what I want to make sure is not happening is you're pushing too much into this heel, right? So this is the heel pumping thing has become more noticed in the last couple of years. So it's actually talked about in general skills now as to avoid the heel pump. Right, Jillian? I know we talked about that when you were in general skills. Huh?
Jillian, a heel pumper?
I don't remember Jillian being a heel pumper. I think we just talked about avoid doing it.
I'm not a heel pumper.
You're good.
We don't pump heels.
Good, good. Okay, so we're going to try to really engage, push into the ball of the foot, keep the knee soft, and keep the heel lifted, yeah? So forward, back, forward, back. All right, so now it's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, forward for 2, back for 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, let's put the arms with this because the arms are really what makes this one special. Okay, so we'll start with arms overhead, then they're going to split, and your left arm's going to come down to shoulder height, So you're really framing here. This is 2 counts, and then this is more passive. So the right arm's going to come to countertop, left arm up for 3, 4. So 1, 2, framing, 3, 4, more passive, 1, 2, framing, 3, 4, more passive. So what I want you to connect with here is that latissimus muscle in your upper back, right? It actually makes this big triangular shape and goes through most of the back. So we're really engaging when the right arm is up. So I really want you to squeeze into that shoulder blade, that latissimus muscle, and really feel that defining the shape in your body as your right hip goes forward. So right hip goes forward. So this right arm is nice and curved, but I'll really have this opening here in the right armpit because I'm squeezing here, right? So if I'm not squeezing, it's just going to look like I'm moving my arms, right? Like, danger, Will Robinson, danger, right? But I really want to work that muscle, right? And really lift and open here. So framing, passive, framing, passive, framing, passive. So it's really defining the hip coming forward and framing it beautifully, right? So elbows lifted throughout. So just keep working on opening that shoulder and that right arm. Yeah. So it's going to feel really, really good. You're just going to kind of go into 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the more you can engage those middle back muscles, the less bounce and movement that you're going to have in your upper body. Right? So let's check it out. How much bounce and movement do you have? So let's engage. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'd love for your upper body to just be so stable and everything's moving around it. Yeah? Looks good. So sometimes the arms get confused, but remember, when you think about framing that right hip, framing that right hip, framing that right hip, then hopefully that'll help you figure out where your hips and arms are supposed to be. All right, so another thing is the gaze. Have you guys ever felt like meerkats? Like you're all looking this way, you're all looking that way in this? Like one of those Wild Kingdom meerkats, they all go. So you have an option of gaze. There's no specific thing. But our rule in FCBD styles, you want to look into the open space. We're not looking at our hand or anything like that. So you have an option. You can stare at your dance angle or your audience, or you can just stay staring at your dance angle, or you can just stay staring at your audience. I know, I kind of want to stare at my audience and say, hey, are you seeing this? This is pretty good. I know. You want to look at this, right? Yeah, exactly. I'm really working this shoulder blade. Do you guys see this latissimus action out there? Yeah, so now a common misconception when we're pivoting this is that it's a quarter turn, but it's not. It's another one of our concepts that we'll go over when we talk about body wave in level 1 called flock of birds. And I just did a flock of birds workshop on FCBDU, so go check it out. It's pretty cool. It was last month. Yes, you were in that. Yes, very good. So we're moving continuously in flock of birds, and flock of birds is whoever can't see anyone else, right, is leading. So yeah, whoever can't see anyone, yeah, exactly. So we can travel forward also with double bump, but generally we don't. We just save that for single bump. It just doesn't get used that way very often. So let's look at pivot. So remember, I'm going to be pushing with the right foot consistently all the way around. So I'm going front, I'm pivoting, I'm going to the back, I'm pivoting, I'm going to the front, I'm pivoting, I'm going to the back. I'm going to keep that movement going. So I'm pushing when my hip is going forward, I'm pushing with the right foot back. And when my foot's forward, I'm pulling. Yeah, pushing, pulling, pushing. Yeah, okay. You guys got it. All right. So let's go to single bump, and then we'll drill it a little bit, and then we'll put the half turn in. Sound good? Okay. All right, so the big distinguishing thing here about single bump is arms are on countertop. Yeah, so elbows lifted. So generally, I like to think about them pressing down with the thumbs, and that helps me keep the arms angled up. Yeah? And this one's a 2 count, so I'm just going to be bumping my hip to the front and the back, but it's that same skiing feeling in the feet. It's a little bit faster. It's 2 counts. Forward, back, forward, back, forward, back. So now I want you to feel what's happening with that latissimus muscle, right? So where is it? It's the hip when the hip goes forward or back, or where do you really feel that potential squeeze in the right shoulder? When what now? When your foot's forward, your hip's forward. Good, I agree. All right, so that helps hold that arm down to squeeze that muscle, right? Otherwise, we could have some, we don't want to get the floppy or the fly arms. Those back muscles engaged are going to help to stabilize your arms, because this movement is about the hip work, right? So the arms are just framing. So we want to avoid the floppy arms, all right? So the fun thing about the single bump, and the hips are the same, we want to look for that pendulum rising up to the front, releasing it in the middle, rising up to the back. So the fun thing here is to travel forward with it. Yeah? So when we do that, we've really got to use these back muscles. So we get it started, and we're just scooting the back foot as we really travel forward with the right foot. But now what happens if I get here and I'm like, right? What am I supposed to do? I have to change the move because this step does not go backwards, right? Have you guys ever tried to do it backwards? Impossible. You're like, what? Whoa. Yeah. It's amazing when you really come to the point where you've been doing FCBD for a while, and then you try to do something that you know was a rule that you're not supposed to do it. You're just like, whoa, that is not comfortable. It's funny. Okay, so we can also pivot with this, and we're continuing the movement around, right? So I want to get it going, really get into the back muscles. Good, yeah. So be careful of that, right? It kind of looks like I'm doing a little Latin dance. It could get if you let it go. So I really want to squeeze the back muscles, and I want to keep this knee soft so I can make sure that I don't bounce, right? Yeah. Okay, so it is a flock of birds. So good rule of practice is to keep it in the phrasing, which could be 4 or could be 8. So, but we've got, when we do our pivot bump, when we go this way, that is 4. We all agree that that's always 4. So we've got an option for 4 there, but any of the pivot bumps you could do 4 or 8, but really it's about flock of birds.
So the single bump and the double bump.
Correct, they only go to the left. They only pivot to the left. That's a good question, Helen. So let's set up.
You did the pivot bump that way. The double and single bump.
They do not. You're so right. So let's get in a 4-person formation. 4-person formation. I know, right? It's been months since you've danced with someone else. You're like, formation, what? So let's just stand shoulder to shoulder. Let's start out shoulder to shoulder. Come on in, Sherry. All right. Helen, take a step forward. Aaron, take a step back. Stay where you are. 2 steps back. So you want to see down this little dancer alley here so you can check with your lead. Okay? All right, so let's dance in formation. So every time you pivot around with these, you're watching each other. So Helen's going to start watching Aaron. Aaron's going to be facing away. So let's pivot.
Oh, sorry.
There we go. It's like, let's pivot. All right, so now you can't see anyone else, right? So you're leading. Now you can't see anyone else, so you're leading. And now you can't see anyone else. Oh my gosh, so you're leading. And then here it comes, back to the original leader. Yay! Isn't it awesome to be in formation? Okay, so we have a suggested drill here. So what I'd love to have you try is building blocks. So we're going to start with our core step, pivot bump. Then we're going to move to double. Then we're going to move to single. And then exit out with something else. So when we add the half turn in, we'll add that in there. So, but not yet, not half turn yet. Okay, so do you usually, when you dance, do you do single bump first and then double bump? Or do you do double bump and then single bump? Good. It's fun to mix them up. So I try it that way a couple of times, maybe twice, and then mix it up. And Jillian, can you see our leader, Helen? Yeah?
I got mine right.
She's got a nice bright pink hip scarf on. Okay, so you guys are feeling out pivot bump. You're trying to figure out how long we're going to do a single bump and a double bump pivoting. Yeah, and then coming back to the lead, and then the lead decides to change the step then, right? So no crazy stuff here. It's just a level 2. We're all good, right? Yes, I would do the front and the back because it's a 4-count step. Okay, but let me ask you, I want to clarify. So you're pushing your foot the entire time on double bump. I'm not doing 1, stop, and then go, and stop, and then go, and stop, right? I'm going to continue like this, yeah? Okay. Is that? Yes. Yeah. You just got to follow people, except for that time when you're looking over there at that corner and you're leading. But it's a brief moment in time. Okay. All right. We ready to drill? Yes? Okay. Okay, so let's do badass ability. No, let's do something a little, that one's a little fast. That's why I paused. It's a little fast. Oh goodness, too many steps to choose from. Too many songs to choose from. Thank you, Helen. All right, Habitat Bajoon, Hassam Ramsey. We won't do the whole song, but this is gonna be really nice. Yeah. Awesome. How did that feel? Good flocking. Y'all are flocking awesome. Oh, is your knee bothering you, Jillian?
I'm just from standing on the left foot for so long, so I've got
Yeah.
to do a bit of a stretch.
I agree. Doing a lot of these bumps. Yeah, you do feel it in your left leg. It's true. I mean, and generally we wouldn't do it this much, you know? It's just drilling. Yeah?
Pulls on the leg.
Exactly. So if you want to kind of shift your weight side to side and just stretch that inner thigh just a little bit. And I love this one, so you can just kind of hinge over and have your toes out a little bit and just bend into the knees. And I like this little squat here. You can kind of wiggle from side to side. Yeah. And if you want to push your knees out, you can bring a little prayer hands here and kind of push the knees out with the elbows. Feels kind of good. Right? And then just try to push all the way up. Yeah. Are you okay? Okay, yeah, okay, all right, you're good, okay.
Stretch out.
Yeah. Okay, good job, you guys. So now let's talk about that half turn. And let's talk about how do you cue that? How do you differentiate between the half turn and the pivot?
Momentum.
Yes, impetus in the way you cue it, right? Okay, that's a good joke. So the single bump half turn is like this powerhouse, right? So you got to kind of amp it up and put it in a spot in the song that's really exciting. Because you feel like when we did it in the warm-up, like, whoa, like it's a wild, crazy ride afterwards, you just want to scream. So we're going diagonally, so I am at dance angle. So we're going to take the nose, the breast, and the hip into this front corner, front left, and into the back right corner. So we're moving on these two sides. Yeah? So the tricky thing with the feet, and now this has been a recent, like last 8 years development, is we realized that the Fat Chance Troop and us, we were doing it differently. So everybody got on the same page and made a decision that this is the way we were doing it. All right, so let's start with the feet. So I want you to think about our single bump goes forward and back, yeah? So when we take it in this really fast half turn, we're cutting that off. We're cutting the back step off, right? So we're gonna step forward and we're gonna bring the foot in. So it's forward and the right foot is directly beside the left foot. So right foot forward, right foot beside the left foot. And we want the feet to be really close. So when we pivot, you're pivoting on the right foot. I know. Okay, so step forward with the right foot, bring the right foot in. Forward and together, forward and together. So this is your feet. It's not a big step, right? Because our body's flying, so we don't want to take a big step, okay? So remember, you're not going to have a back bump, but the pivot is creating that back bump because I'm pivoting on the right foot. So you feel the hip kind of gestures to the back when I'm turning to this direction, okay? All right, so we're really swinging that hip. We're using that momentum of the hip swinging to help us get around. All right, so hip, nose, chest. All right, so I'm gonna go arms out on countertop. So I really wanna squeeze that middle back in to really stabilize me. So I want my arms to be stabilizing. So when I turn here, my arms are framing that corner. All right, so I've got nose, breast, right hip. I'm gonna bump into that corner, bring the right foot into the left foot, and pick the left foot up and pivot on the right foot. All right, so now I'm gonna bump into that corner and bring the right foot in, pick the left foot up, pivot back to this side. So bump the hip, feet together, pivot. 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 So I'm going to go 1 and 2. 1 and 2, 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 bump and turn, and you're there, bump and turn, and you're there. Yeah, so pretty fast, just 2 counts. So we're at 16 counts in 2 count increments. Yeah? So how many does that take? Can you get a feel? Do you need to count when you're doing it? Yeah? No? Well, let's try it. Let's count it. 16. Yeah. So 8. So you're stopping there and there 8 times. All right? So here we are. So I want to do a really dramatic turn over here to cue it. All right? All right, so let's come back and let me count it. All right, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Woo! Superstar! A lot of momentum, so it really does help to raise the arms up and maybe do an aerobic afterwards. Yeah? All right? Yeah, no, it's fine. That's fine, it's fine. So now's the time to think about, okay, I really want to make sure if I'm not doing the half turn and I'm going to pivot with the single bump, that I really slowly pivot, right? So no single bump, no half turn. Ooh, there it is. Very gentle, very gentle. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Squeeze the back and da 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 da. All right. Squeeze the back. Yeah? So you want to stabilize those arms. The arms are not moving, right? No birds here.
You're not doing up and down, you're not doing both.
All right? Oh.
I felt like you did, and I wondered if that was part of your cue.
No.
It's not, okay.
No, but I am trying to really pick myself up and go over here like a really dramatic quarter turn, right? So no dramatic quarter turn if we're just pivoting, right? But I'm really gonna I'm really gonna do that quarter turn and bump my hip into that corner. But no, it's not a look. But we do need to be spotting here because things are going on really fast. So I want to lock my eyes here and then lock my eyes there, and don't look at anything else. Just blink between, exactly. Okay, want to try it? Yeah. All right, Erin, you want to lead it? Yay, Erin! So if you want to do double bump, single bump, and then single bump half turn, that's how I would recommend doing the building blocks. So you could start with your core step, bump, and then think about your arms, because if you're going to do 1 and 2 arms, this is your double bump arm, right? So you probably want to be here so you can make a big deal about the arms going into double bump. Make sense? Yeah. Okay, awesome.
All right, cool.
All right, you guys ready? You ready to fly? But not this kind of thing? Right? Yeah, not that. So really contract those back muscles. Okay, here we go. Yay! Very good. Excellent job. High five.
Both sides, okay. Yay.
Excellent. Okay. It was looking really good, you guys. Just keep working on really extending that arm, making it nice and strong, and squeezing that right latissimus muscle, right? That'll give you so much more stability in this posture, so much more upper body stability, so your lower body can really shine, be the star of the show. Yeah? Yeah? So keep working on opening here, Sherry and Jen, yeah? Yeah, I know, it's just one of those things that often you don't think about it quite as much, right? But it looks really good. Yeah, thanks for leading. Thanks for leading. Yeah, any questions? Any questions, Jillian? So Jillian, just make sure you're continually moving when you're pivoting and not stopping when your foot goes to the back, okay? So it kind of looked like you were this tall, but it kind of looked like there was a little bit of stopping when your foot went to the back.
Both double bump and single bump?
Yes.
Yeah.
They're consistently traveling around. Yeah. Okay, good. All right. All right, inhale, arms up. Really reach up and root your feet down. Oh, good. And just kind of ragdoll over and let it hang. And just shake your head, yes. And just feel that weight of your head kind of pulling on your spine. And maybe you want a little bending and straightening in the legs. Work out any tightness in the hamstrings or the quads. And it's kind of nice to let the hips move up and down when you're bending and straightening the legs. Good, and keep the knees soft and roll the weight into the heels, and you feel the knees kind of pressing into your abdomen, and really nice stretch in the lower back. And then shift your weight into your toes and straighten your knees and contract the quad muscles. You'll feel that nice opening in the hamstrings. And now let's really think about our abdominals and tighten them up to the back of the spine. So belly button kissing the spine. And shift back into your heels because this one just feels really good. And bend your knees. Just let your upper body hang over the knees and legs. And now walk your hands over a little bit to the left and get a stretch on the right side of the body, the right hip. And then walk your hands over to the right. Feel that stretch in left side of the torso, left hip. Good. And come back to center. And just shift your weight from your toes to your heels. And slowly roll up. So starting from a soft knee, just feeling the tailbone start to root down, lower abdominals contracting, feeling each little vertebra stack up on top of the other one. And now your shoulders, and then slowly your head. Yeah. And just nod your head. It's all good. Ah, good. Shake it out. And inhale the arms up. Touch the fingers. Bring them down in front of your heart. And just feel that heart beating and that we're here together and dancing with Jillian in Australia. Beautiful. Great class, you guys. Y'all did a great job. All right, so I hope to see everybody next week. Good.
I'll be absent next week, but hopefully week after see you.
Oh, so you got something to do next week, so we'll see you the week after. Awesome.
Thank you. Great class.
Thank you. Be well.